Hi, my name's Craig. Today I want to show you how easy it is to make your own beer at home. I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube of people making their own beer at home. And there's a lot of different ways of doing it. There's a lot of complicated ways and there's a lot of simple ways of doing it. A lot of the methods that I've seen on YouTube, to me, look a little complicated. And I've been brewing beer for 23 years, and some of those methods I don't think I would have the patience to do them. I'm sure that those people's brew is turning out really nice and they're probably enjoying what they're doing. Myself, I'm kind of lazy. I don't want to put a lot of work into it. I don't want to put a lot of money into it. I just want to be able to simply make beer out of my home and do it easily. So today I want to show you a very, very simple way to make beer at home. It doesn't require any fancy equipment. It doesn't require a lot of money, and you can do it in about a half an hour. Of course, it takes about a week to brew, but as far as making the initial batch, you can do it in a very short time. I'm teaching you how to make a product that you're going to be drinking, ingesting into your body. I don't want to tell you that this is the way you should make it. When you get your kit, you should read the instructions very carefully and consult with your homebrew supplier to make sure that you're doing all the right things. It's also very important that you clean all of your equipment and sterilize it with sterilizing solution. Otherwise you could get an infected batch, and I don't know what would happen if you drank that. I have no idea, because I've never had it happen to me personally. When you make your beer, follow the instructions, make sure everything's clean, and I'm not necessarily telling you that you should be doing it the way I do it. I'm just showing you how I do it and how easy it can be. Let's just go over some of the things you're going to need. Now this isn't all of it, but this is the first stage I'm going to show you of making beer, okay? And when we get downstairs to the second step, I'll show you what you need for that. But just first off, you need a big pot. This is a large soup or stock pot. You can get it from any department store, okay? Next we have your brewer's malt extract. Actually, it's upside down right now because I'm trying to get it to all run to the top so I can get it out easier. It's very, very thick stuff. But that's your malt extract. There's lots of different kinds, and you can get Draught, Lager, Pilsner, and lots of other different types. So that's that part of it. So turn that back over again. You'll see why in a minute. The next thing is, this is called, it's like a sugar. It's a dextrose. They call it dextrose, but it's just like a very fine kind of, it's like icing sugar. It's a very fine powdery sugar. And you need a 1 kilogram bag of sugar. Okay? The next thing here, you don't actually need to use that. It's called adjunct. A-D-J-U-N-C-T. Adjunct. And basically, it's a very thick syrup. It's like a liquid sugar, and it basically adds, it can help you get a better head on your beer when you actually pour your beer. You do not have to use this. Okay, you can just get by with this and this. You don't need to use this, but if your supplier carries it, I use it every time I make a batch of beer. Okay, and this is just a plastic spatula. I like something that I can scrape out the inside of the can, because the stuff's really thick. So a plastic thing like this is perfect. Make sure it's clean, and although you're going to be putting it in boiling water anyways, but just make sure there's no food on it or whatever. Okay, let's get started. The first thing we have to do is fill this pot up with water and start heating the water up. About a gallon of water is a good amount, and basically what you're going to do here is you're just going to heat this up and add your other ingredients. Okay, what I've done here is my water is heating up on the stove. I took my adjunct, if you decide to use this, and I heated it up in the microwave for 1 minute just to soften it because it's very thick and hard to pour. About 6 to 6.5 cups of sugar is what you really want to put in here, or dextrose I should say. And so a 1 kilogram bag is about 6 cups. Sometimes I put a little bit more in because I like to raise the alcohol content a little bit more, and that's how you get more alcohol, is you just add a little more sugar. But not too much, because if you add too much sugar, you're going to ruin your whole batch of brew. So I pre-measured my sugar, and what I want to do is I just want to add this to the water that's heating up on the stove. Stir it in so it doesn't burn on the bottom. The stage that you don't need to do, but if you have the stuff, you may as well use it. I find that it does help a little bit. Just add this into it. All while you're heating up the water. Okay? So far all you've done was put some water on the stove, add your sugar or your dextrose, and this is like liquid sugar, so we'll put that in with the sugar, with the dextrose. Stir it around a little bit, and now you're going to add your malt extract. Now the reason why I turned the can upside down is because I'm going to open it from the bottom. The top, you can't open it from the top, so I'm going to open it from the bottom, and I want all of the extract to come off. I don't want to take the lid off and have it all stuck to the lid. You're going to see how thick it is. I certainly wouldn't want to spill it all over the back of my car. So what I do sometimes is because there's so much on here, I'll dip it in here and get all the good stuff off it. Watch how thick this is. Sometimes what you can do is you can actually put it under hot water for 20 minutes, and that will heat it up and help loosen it up a little bit so it pours easier. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to scrape out all of the malt extract and stir it in. Now make sure you stir well because it tends to go straight to the bottom of the pot, and when it does, it'll burn. I added some water to this empty can, some hot water, and I'm stirring it around to get all the stuff off of the inside of the can. Again, you don't want to waste this stuff. Once you get it all off the inside of the can, add that to your wort, which is what this is called. It's called wort. And you can see now that the can is good and clean. And that's what you want. At this stage, you could take this off the stove, because it's pretty hot, and go to the next stage, which is to pour it into your brew bucket. And that's perfectly fine. For some reason, I've just found it comfortable to bring it up to more of a boil, because that way it sterilizes my spatula, and it basically sterilizes the inside of the pot and the wort itself. So it saves me a couple of steps of cleaning these things with sterilizing solution. I'm actually sterilizing them because I'm bringing my wort to a boil. Okay, there. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it in the sink, and I'm going to fill the sink up with cold water, because I kind of want this to cool down a little bit. We leave it like this for about 10 or 15 minutes. It will help to bring it down a little bit cooler and make it easy for you later. Okay, while this is happening, we're going to go downstairs, and I'm going to show you the additional equipment that you'll need, and I'm going to clean it all up and get it ready to go. Okay?